10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of Midlife Vices. My name is Steve.
And I'm Jim.
And we're here to talk about stuff we like to watch and things we do, and that's pretty much it.
Yes.
So, yeah, nothing more than that at this point. Although our show is growing by leaps and bounds. We went from, I think, 46 views down to how many?
25?
That's progress. That's good.
Yeah,
People know.
Well, we're honing in on our ideal.
That's right. We found our demographic.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So,
yes.
So what you been up to this week, Jim?
Not a whole lot. I do have a couple things I can talk about. For one, we got the dog, so there's not a whole lot else going on besides the dog. Man, that thing takes constant supervision.
Yeah.
It's like having another toddler in the house. But last week you mentioned that Steve Massini and Harry Potter show.
Right.
I can't remember his name at the moment. Miracle Workers. Me and my wife watched the whole first season, and we loved it. We laughed a lot.
Really?
Yeah. When my wife laughed, that makes it that much better for me, and she loved it. She really looking forward to season 2. Kind of curious how that goes, especially since we like the premise of season 1 so much.
Right.
So we're really looking forward to that. That show was it was a lot of fun. It was very funny, a lot of silly humor, but hey, it works for me. I have not read anything in comics in like 3 weeks.
No, I'm the same.
I don't think I've picked up a comic book in 2.
Yeah, I think about a little over a week ago, I read a couple issues of TMNT, but I've been slacking pretty hard on the books as well.
Yeah, I have since we got the dog, I walk when I go to work.
Sure.
Well, we walk 3 miles, and that just adds a lot of time to my day where I'm not used to that being gone. Now I'm not home until like noon. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Dogs will keep you going for sure. It's a motivation to get out and get a little exercise here and there for sure.
Yeah, I can't believe how much my weight has dropped just adding that 3-mile walk. I don't really need to lose weight, but it's doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
So, how about you? What you been up to?
The only thing we watched episode 3 of Rings of Power, which was really good. And we watched Sunday night. We watched Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. That episode, which was I don't know. It was an episode. It was one of those where they're in a sex house basically half the hour, so just a bunch of nudity and orgy stuff going on.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it's not too late to start watching, is what you're saying.
There you go. Yeah, you can always, that's how they get the viewers right there. Well, see, they started that last season or the original series with episode 1 like that.
Yes.
All the nudity and stuff to rope people in. And then they kind of backed off as they went. So maybe they needed a ratings boost. I don't know.
All I know is every time I walk out this office and my wife is watching Game of Thrones, there's boobs on my TV.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. And then we watched Love and Thunder.
How'd you like that?
It was okay. It was a fun movie, but not a whole lot of story to it. I feel like we need a Jane Foster, Mighty Thor backstory because it goes from her finding the hammer, getting drawn to the hammer, Mjolnir, and then the next scene she's in, she's like a fully trained, badass fighter fighting fighting the villains and all this stuff. So there's no in between. Where did she go from point A to point Z? Show me something in between, some story building. I'm not huge on building up the story and all the backstory stuff, but I got to have something.
I've never finished the Thor movie yet.
Right.
I would probably watch a Jane Foster Thor sooner than I would another Thor, just because, that's a pretty good thing to look at. And I can't pronounce the hammer's name, so I don't even try.
That's most of the shows on TV and movies now. You can't pronounce names.
Yeah, I am not a linguist.
Right.
As our audience, all 25 people can tell you.
I don't think it was actually probably 25. I think I was at least probably 4.
Oh, that's depressing because I was the other 19. No, I'm not a mathematician either.
That's very good math. That's very good math. Yeah. But, man. I mean, even if nobody watches, right? We're here. We're talking about stuff we love.
You know what? I enjoy talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of not being a mathematician, if anybody in our audience knows how we can get a hold of BCW and get them to give us a discount code for you can save 10% off the website and only pay 50% more than you would on Amazon, let us know.
Call us, BCW. You know where to find us.
Great salesman.
That's right. We need to put something we would really use. Like, who do we want to sponsor us? Oh, I don't even know. Remote control batteries, some Duracell. Can we get Duracell to? I go through batteries pretty regularly.
Really? What do you use that has batteries?
My TV remote.
How fast? How quick are you changing those channels?
I'm either fast. I'm usually fast forwarding because it's commercials that we recorded or something, or flipping through channels, or
I can't remember the last time I've changed the remote control batteries.
No, but you only watch TV like
2 hours,
half hour at a time or something. Mm-hmm. You got to start putting a good 12-hour day.
Yeah, we did start our fantasy football league.
We did. Wow.
Yes.
Let's just say that Jim's in first place and I'm in last place. We played each other, and it wasn't close. I lost by, I think, close to 80 points.
Did you see that I gave you an award?
I did not see that, no.
Oh, okay. I gave you a trophy.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I'll check it out. But this week I think is going to look a little better.
It probably will.
I'm going to have some of my injured players back in, my starters. I should pick up a good waiver, which will improve my running game a lot. Both of my receivers were injured. My running back, I just realized, gets split time with a second running back. So he's only getting half the carries. I don't know when Denver started doing that with the running backs, but that kind of annoyed me.
I think most people are doing that now. But
yeah, I think so.
We should get back to the nerd stuff. We're going to lose the other, 18 viewers.
Well, really, we're only getting viewers that know that we're doing it anyway, and they're probably in the league. So.
Oh well.
No.
Do you want more?
Done with no. That's too much pressure. All right, done with the football talk until next week when I beat Jeff Howell. I'm coming after you, Howell. If you lose to a guy who lost by 80 points, you should probably not even show your face.
He won this week. He was the second highest scorer, I believe.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If he loses to me, I have high hopes. Moving on.
The great thing is, each week, any given Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Other than that, no, not a lot of TV. I guess the Emmy Awards happened last night.
Yes, I did see that Ted Lasso won.
I guess.
Jason Sudeikis won.
A couple awards, yeah. The other shows, I don't know what they are. I've never seen them.
That's the only one I saw.
I saw there were some emotional speeches or something. I don't know. But other than that. And I just want to let you know that the shows that won the Emmys, the amount that is going to affect me watching or not watching. Absolutely zero.
Yeah, I
couldn't care less.
Awards don't mean anything to me for TV or movies.
No.
There's some movies I think deserve them, but it don't change anything for me.
Well, I think most people just want their favorites to win the awards, even if it doesn't make sense that they would win that award.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't have a category like, let's say, Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, and Ted Lasso, and then root for Ted Lasso to win Best Visual, whatever. But the Ted Lasso fans would be like, "Oh man, I can't believe he didn't win." So, right?
Yeah.
Oh, those are bad. I mean, three pretty prime examples, but yeah, exactly. But the Emmys happen, and they're important for the actors. So congratulations to all who won. I'm sure we'll get a full rundown on a couple other shows this week that people could watch. Yeah. Anyway, this week, if you don't have anything more on that, Jim,
I do not.
We're going to start off with one of our favorite segments. And that segment is...
Oh, yes. Wow.
You show me yours, and I'll show you mine. And I'm going to let you go first today.
Okay. Mine is just going to be a little statue. Cobra Commander. I don't know who makes it. It might be Super 7. PCS Collectibles. Hasbro. That's who makes it. They have the license, so I should have knew that. Pick that up. I like it. He's a character I collect. I would prefer to collect the Crimson Twins because they're my favorite action figures of all time, but there's just not enough of them. So
that's a cheap collection.
Yes, and when I say there's not enough of them, there's actually quite a bit of them. There's not a lot of other stuff. There's no statues. They do have the G.I. Joe classified figure coming out. I had those pre-ordered, but should come out next month. Looking forward to that.
Cool. Any updates on your Wanda?
On Wanda?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Should ship September. That's what it says. I don't know if it will. So.
Right.
Cool. I'm waiting patiently.
All right. And my show and tell this week is Wolverine number 1. It's just one of the most covers, I think, for some comic books. I've had this for quite a while. I also like I paid the extra. There we go. The extra $5 for the sticker, which adds to the.
What's the
display. Sticker? It's Wolverine up on the sticker. Usually it would just be like a CGC or something, but you can pay an extra $5 to get the sticker, special sticker on there. So, so
now, are you a big Wolverine fan?
I prefer Laura Kinney. I prefer the new Wolverine. I love her character. I didn't start reading comics when Wolverine was big. Of course, the movies, I know from the movies and stuff, but not really from the book. So that was just a collectible one. But X-23 or Laura Kinney or Wolverine or whatever they're going to call her, she's really good.
I know nothing about any of them. So,
well, she's a clone. Well, technically, they use Wolverine's DNA. She was created in a lab, so she's kind of like his daughter, but not really. So she's a clone.
She's a test tube baby.
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe her first appearance was NYX. I don't know if it's called NYX or NYX. Back in the early 2000s, number 3. And it goes for quite a bit of money. She's a popular character.
Okay. It's funny. I hear no one talking about her.
Really?
Yeah.
The Logan movie that came out a couple years ago, she was kind of the main character, other than Logan.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, I recommend it. I think you can make it through at least 45 minutes.
Me and my wife both have said that we would like to watch that movie. It's never happened yet.
So. Right. It's a good one.
Well,
it's a good one. So that was our...
Oh, yes. Wow.
I really want to
show me yours, and I'll show you mine segment. Next week, we'll have something else to show you. Hopefully. Pretty soon I'm going to run out, or I might have to start buying stuff just to fill the segment.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I would just be like, look at me.
Just start grabbing stuff. Or just start showing the same stuff over and over because nobody's watching the show twice anyway. So
I'll start jumping rope or something.
There you go. Yeah. Well, this is our wedding album.
Yeah. Just. Oh, I've logged many minutes with this picture. Anyway.
Exactly. So tonight, our top 10 segment we're going to get into. This week is going to be our top 10 television characters. Not actors, but characters. Sitcom, drama, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we're going to see what we got here, and we'll talk about why we like those characters. And I'm sure that's going to last longer than we expected to. So
every one of mine is a comedy sitcom.
Is it?
Yep.
I don't blame you. I mean, yeah, comedy sitcom characters are, people who can make you laugh.
And I was telling Steve before we started that 5 of them are complete background ensemble characters. So
let's go ahead and start with number 10 television character.
Number 10 is nostalgia for me. Should I go first or you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Number 10 for me is Michael Seaver from Growing Pains.
Oh, nice. I did not have him.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine he's on most people's lists. I just know that growing up, I think he was a couple years older than me, but
right.
There was a Christmas episode of Growing Pains, and he would hold his hand over and he'd be able to tell what present he was getting. And that intrigued the heck out of me. I loved it. To this day, I do it every Christmas. It sucks, and it left such an impression on me. And then his conning his brothers and sisters. And I'm a sucker for con men and magicians and stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah.
And I found him funny, and his best friend's name was Boner. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed him. I imagine you're going to say some names here in a little bit that I'll be like, oh no, kick off Michael Seaver. But it's what I came up. I had a hard time with the list. I'm going to let everyone know this. There was like 5 that I was like on the list, and the other 5 I was like, oh, I don't know.
I just want to point out with these lists, I don't know how Jim did his, but I tried not to do comic book characters. So I didn't go with Daredevil being my favorite character, because even though he is a TV character and I like him, he's mainly a comic book character. So I didn't cross over that way. I mean, there's a couple on here who are in comic books, and even one who started in a comic book, but they're not like, I didn't go with Spider-Man or Batman or anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
none of mine are comic.
Michael Seaver, I like that pick. I like Kirk Cameron. I didn't like him at the time because I was in the 5th grade. I remember my first girlfriend, the first girl I kissed, she had a huge crush on Kirk Cameron.
He was
which I think every girl then did. Yeah. And so I wasn't a big fan, but yeah, I like that pick.
Thank you.
My number 10 is Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. I really like the show, and her character is just great. She's badass. She carries the series. There's some other great characters in that series. I don't have a lot to say about it, but really love her character and really love that show.
I've watched the pilot, kind of like Lost. I've watched the pilot 3 times. I've never made it past it. I've watched more of Angel than I have Buffy.
Right.
So of course I
like Angel. I like Angel better in Buffy's better in Buffy.
Well, I liked Charisma Carpenter. So
yeah. Yeah, she was great too. She's in Buffy as well. So.
Oh, see, did not know that. So.
Yeah, it was kind of a scoop show. So, all right, but that's number 10. So let's go on to number 9.
All right, number 9. Probably on this show 6 or 7 times, but it's Zach from The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, good pick.
Just fantastic. Every time he's on the show, he makes me laugh.
Yeah, I
like that. You're not going to blow it up.
That's the line I was just thinking of when they're shooting the laser at the moon. I was just going to say that right before you said it. Yeah.
He is so funny. Again, probably most of my characters play that dumb role,
right?
And it works for me. It makes me laugh. So I'm trying to think any other favorite moments from him in The Big Bang Theory.
I like it just when they're on the boat and he's asking them on the yacht with Penny and Leonard. And he's
see, I forgot about that. I missed that episode when it came out, and on rewatch I saw it. They're asking to be to rent her room, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Did I even pronounce that right? Her room.
Yeah. There's also the episode with Amy. There's also the episode with Amy where she's doing the woo thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Superman costume and all that too. So
I like the one where they find out they're accidentally married when they're married. That's
it wasn't real.
I don't think you're the type of guy I want dating my wife.
That's right.
Just comical stuff.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got for Zach.
Right. My number 9 is Mando.
Mando.
Yeah. Love his character. One of my favorite in all of Star Wars. And it's only been a couple seasons.
Yeah, probably because we don't know everything about him yet.
Right. It's still a mystery to him. Yeah.
In 4 years, he'll be riding a Rancor and trying to take over the job at the Hutt's Palace. So
there you go. We know that. Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
But
that's all I got for that one.
Yeah, it is. It's a great character. I don't know enough about that character to love him as of yet, but
right.
But yeah, pretty good. Okay, my number 8 was also only on the show like 4 times. It's Harry the Hat from Cheers.
Yeah.
Harry Anderson, who went on to be in Night Court, and I've never heard if that's the same character, but it sure feels like it. He just played a con man on Cheers, and he would
con Sam every time.
Coach a lot.
Coach a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and then he helped coach in one episode, and then he bought Gary's Old Town Tavern, and remember Gary tore it down, and then the check bounced, and I mean, just every episode he's on, I love, and I just like I said, I like con men, I like gamblers, I like that type of character, and
I remember loving him as a character on the show too, and liking all the episodes just because I was a fan of him doing his magic and stuff.
Yeah,
when he would do that, so yeah, another good character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and watch Night Court,
right?
Just because, he's good, And then Dan Larroquette won like 7 Emmys for that. So
John Larroquette,
yeah. So okay, that's it for my number 8.
My number 8 is Negan. Now, this is the one I was talking about who started in a comic book, but the TV show, he's very different than the comics. And to like a guy that's that bad shows how good of a character they have him in the story.
So is he your favorite bad guy?
The governor was really, really good, but Negan gets redeemed.
Oh, okay.
So, and it just and it's not even because of the things he does. It's his lines, the way the actor delivers the lines, there's so much comedy to it. He's just hilarious with the stuff he says, the way he talks. You talked about all the people on your list have a certain type. I'm looking at my list, and I'm seeing that most of mine are like the definition of toxic masculinity, and I'm wondering what that says about me.
Hey, yeah, you can like what you like,
But no, he's a great character, and yeah, probably one of the best villains ever. So that's number 8.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched anything, so I have nothing to add to that. All right, my number 7, Mr. K from the show Go On.
Yeah, you're going deep with that one.
Okay, so this show only went one season. Starred Matthew Perry. It's he joins a support group after his wife dies, and all these people have lost something, except for Mr. K. He actually didn't lose anything. He's there for kicks, apparently.
Right.
He's such an odd. It's the guy that plays Murray on Stranger Things.
Right.
He's such an oddball in the show. If you ever get a chance to watch that show, which I think you have,
right? I have, yes.
Me and my wife really enjoyed that show. I was so sad that got canceled after one season.
Right.
Because it was funny. It had heart. It was just good. And there's things in that show that me and my wife still do. Matthew Perry's trying to break it to his gardener that his wife died. And so the support group is telling him like, why don't you like boop 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 boop, she dead, and it just, me and my wife do that all the time with stuff now. It's just, anyway, Mr. K is such an oddball character in that show.
Right.
That it stuck with me for, it's got to be 10 years now. And I still love him, and I still own the season on Amazon, and we throw it on every now and again. So
nice.
Great show.
Good picks. My number 7 is somebody who, if you would have asked me just name off the top of my head, I would have probably had him closer to the top. But once I started listing people, he dropped to number 7, and that is Ron Swanson.
Great character.
Just a great character. So good. Of course, from Parks and Rec. He's so good. Yeah. Hilarious. Every line he delivers. He's I know who your top character is, and he reminds me a lot of him, except he has more lines. Your top character is going to be a line here and there, just perfectly timed, where his is constant, but still subtle with the way he is. So
he's fantastic. It's just a great character. I mean,
it is.
Libertarian working in the government.
Right.
Just the premise alone sells it.
Yeah, it does.
So and then his whole arc, from multiple Tammys to a happy marriage, it's really good. And his friendship with Leslie, it's the whole thing. His father-like relationship with April and Andy.
Yeah.
Everything about that character is great. And then him pulling the tooth and making Tom faint. One of my favorite moments on TV ever. I go to YouTube and just watch that scene. So,
a lot of great characters on that show, for sure.
Yes. So, you have a favorite moment with him?
No, not specifically.
Just overall?
Just overall, yeah. There were just so many. I couldn't pick one if I tried.
Yeah, especially on the spot. Go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the tooth pulling is definitely one of the top points.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. And then Ben Wyatt just running out of the room. That just cracks me up. All right.
So what you got for number 6?
Number 6 is Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement.
Yes.
So Tim Allen's humor just works for me. I like the stand-up. I like just about everything he's been in. There's some movies that weren't great for me. Galaxy Quest is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right.
And that show started it all for me. Me and my parents watched that show every Thursday. We recorded it on VHS. We put it on all the time.
Yeah, it was funny.
His relationship with his wife is probably the closest one that I've had that I see on TV that I have with my wife. Not the I destroy our house type of stuff, even though it's possible I do. But just their interactions, it's very close to how my marriage is. And when I watch that show and it makes me see something that I'm doing to my wife that's not necessarily always the best, when it makes me a better husband, I think that's a good thing in a television show, especially when it makes me laugh too. So yeah, I love it. I love that show. Okay.
All right. My number 6 is Hurley.
I forgot. Of
course, I'm Lost. Just such. I mean, there's even an episode called "Everybody Loves Hurley." There's an episode called "Everybody Hates Hurley" too, but "Everybody Loves Hurley" is more on target. Yeah, he's just perfect. He stays upbeat most of the time through the series.
And then when he's not, he's really funny about it.
He is, yeah. When they're back in the 70s and he's writing the Star Wars script, I think it's for Empire, right? Yeah, because they're talking about yeah.
Is it his goal to send it to George Lucas?
It is,
which is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
He don't even want credit. He just wants to send it to, here. Do this,
right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we know how the show ends up with him, which I love that ending to it too.
Me too.
Yeah, just perfect. And then they break your heart with it when he finally finds somebody. She's dead, like the next episode.
Boopy doopy doop boop. She dead.
Yeah, exactly. Just a great character. So many good episodes that I like with him. Plus, the way he gives, especially in season 1, he doesn't put up with Sawyer's crap for too long.
And he's the one that started changing my opinion of Sawyer.
Right.
So, yeah, great character. Great character. So, he might
kick off my number 6.
He might kick off my number 10.
There you go.
Okay, so let's see. My number 5 is Troy Barnes from Community.
We're up to the high 5.
I should have waited for that.
That's okay.
We're not professionals. We're not getting paid.
We're not.
No. Still looking for those discount codes. Troy Barnes from Community.
Yeah.
I am completely drawing a blank on the actor's name at the moment. The Childish Gambino.
Donald Glover.
Thank you. He plays that character so well.
He does.
He is and straight. You know what I'm saying? He don't do it. It don't feel like he's doing it for the laughs, but man, does it make me laugh. He delivers some of the best lines in that whole series.
He does.
There's a scene where him and he's in the bathroom and he says, "I'm a man, not a child," and pulls out a cigarette and puts it in his mouth and then flips it in his mouth and starts chewing it. You know, it's bubble gum. Just floors me. I love it. So.
I think the reason I didn't go with him was because I really have him and Abed as
a duo,
as one. Like they complement each other so much in that show.
Yeah,
it's hard not to.
I was thinking about that because I do love them as a duo, but I'm not the biggest Abed fan. So,
right.
But put him with Troy, and I think it's fantastic. So I think Troy actually raises him for me, and I'm not saying everyone should see that like that, but that's how I see it.
Cool, nice, love that.
Okay.
All right. My number 5 is Amy Pond from Doctor Who. She's one of the Doctor's companions, and she's played by Karen Gillan, who, of course, is in Endgame, plays Nebula.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. Just great. She's actually, along with Rory, is the other companion, and they're a couple, and those two are just, in my opinion, the best companions in Doctor Who, and she's just great.
I've seen one episode of Doctor Who that I like. Granted, I've only probably watched two, but it's the Weeping Angels, the first one.
Ah, yes.
You know, the Light Doctor episode.
Right.
What's that episode called?
Might be called the Weeping Angels, right?
No, I don't think it's called Weeping Angels, though.
Okay.
Blink.
Oh, okay.
So if you're not a Doctor Who fan and you want to get into Doctor Who, I mean, it didn't work for me, but that's the episode everyone suggests, and it is a fantastic standalone episode.
It is.
I want to watch it again. Yeah.
Well, of course, the Weeping Angels play a huge part in Amy and Rory's story, and like a major part.
Yeah, Heather loves Doctor Who. She'll watch it all, and she started with Blink, but yeah, I just haven't made time for it. So.
Yeah, it has its hits and misses. I mean, when you change a character every 2 to 3 years, there's gonna be some growing pains in between. So
it's like the science fiction 007.
Right. Well, it's actually, of course, the show they're making fun of in Community, or that they're mimicking in Community with the time, what do they call it? They go to the conventions and everything.
Oh,
he's in the phone booth.
The six sitting around the table?
No. The show that they're big fans of, that Abed and Troy are big fans of. It's basically Doctor Who. I can't think of the name of it on Community now. But yeah, they go to the convention. They have they do a focus group to do an American version of the show.
Okay, so I have not seen every episode of Community. It's because it's a very hit and miss for me as far as the episodes.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. So Amy Pond is my number 5.
Okay. My number 4 is Ted Lasso. You said it last week. He's the purest man on TV. Yeah. And not a whole lot more I need to say about that. When your intentions are that good, you're that funny, what's not to like? So I think he's the only. No, Tim Taylor was the star of the show, but he's probably the main star. Anyway, he's one of the few main stars that I really like.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I agree. He's great. Okay. My number 4 is if you were to put Ted Lasso in a mirror and find his complete opposite as far as good intentions go. Well, maybe not. My number 4 is Jimmy McGill. Saul.
Really?
Love his character. Just love him. The first couple seasons, it takes a while to get used to him in Better Call Saul. And then after that, man, he just so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more of that show.
He everything he does is trying to be good. It's just, do the means justify the ends? Do the ends justify the means? Yeah, he's always making the wrong choice, of course, getting himself in more and more trouble. But good intentions all the way through. So,
yeah, he is a great character, though. I agree.
He is. So, Jimmy McGill is my number 4.
All right, my number 3 is Phoebe Buffay from Friends. Again, she just makes me laugh out loud.
She does.
Now, watching it from the first season, the first half of the first season, she's not the same character that she.
Right.
Well, of course, characters change.
Right.
And I don't think I would have liked that character as much if they wouldn't have adapted. But yeah, I think I mentioned the other time, the other show where she sings with the bagpipes, doing bagpipe.
Yeah.
And it makes me almost cry from laughing. Yeah. It's so funny. And she's so good at that character. And it's nowhere near her real life how she is,
No.
Did you ever watch Mad About You?
Yeah.
Okay. So her twin sister obviously came from that show. Obviously she did. So She was probably my favorite character on that show.
Yeah.
If you don't count Murray the dog. So, yeah, she's just incredibly funny, and
the one where she's singing for the kids, singing the kids' songs.
Yeah, the farm.
My goodness.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites. The one where everybody finds out.
Yes.
Her and Chandler, the whole "they don't know that we know, they know we know"
episode
when she's walking towards him with her shoulders, and she's doing that thing there, and Chandler's got that look on his face. And,
yeah, I'm very bendy. That was
very bendy.
Great line.
Yes. Great. I'm so happy we're gonna have all the sex, he says. Yes. So many good lines. Her songs, Little Black Curly Hair. Of course, when she has the cold, it's Sticky Shoes is a good one.
When she has they kill the rat, and then she keeps the babies, the rat babies.
Mike tells her what's going to happen. Yeah.
I mean, she's such a great character that Paul Rudd marries her.
Yes. I know how much that means to you.
All right. Yeah, you're up.
Love her. I can talk about her. And later on, there's going to be another show where we talk about Friends specifically, I would imagine, and we can talk about a lot more of that stuff. But
yes.
Okay. My number 3 is the second character from Lost, and this one is Ben Linus.
Great character.
You asked earlier if Negan was my favorite villain. No, Ben Linus is my favorite villain of all time. And ultimately, is he a villain? Every villain always has the reason why they do the things they do. It's what they do that makes him a villain, and he does some stuff that definitely makes him a villain. Yes. But he was so good at that. He was not supposed to play Ben past those few episodes when he was kept in the cell.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so good at it, they kept him and made him the leader of the others.
So when I was talking to my wife about this list, because I need help always from my wife. Right. There's nothing I can do without my wife. So the first thing she said, well, what about Ben Linus? And ultimately, for me to be one of my top 10 characters of all time, it has to make me laugh.
Right.
And so he was off just for that reason. But yes, he's a fantastic character.
Yeah. Well, he makes me laugh now when we rewatch, just because of how manipulative he is and the little looks on his face that he has when he's doing stuff, or when he's getting beat up, he's funny, right? I mean, he just gets beat up for a whole season, and it's just hilarious the way he reacts to it.
Yeah.
Like he knows what's going on and he expects it. So, yeah, love that.
Yeah, great character. I agree.
Number 2.
Okay.
Nope.
Number 2 would be my second character from Friends, and that's Joey Tribbiani.
Also my number 2.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about him pulling out the fork in the hallway when they drop the cheesecake on the floor.
Oh, so great.
Just the idea that he carries around a fork for such an occasion makes me laugh out loud. And it's just really funny. I won't get into quoting lines from him unless you start, and then I'll just jump in. But
or when they ask him, I forget the exact line, but it's something about a woman or a tub of jam. He's like,
put your hands together.
Put your hands together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your hands together.
So my most quoted line from Joey is the Thanksgiving episode where he's has to eat the whole turkey.
Oh yeah.
And he's eating the potato chips, and Monica says, "Hey, you got like a whole turkey to eat." He goes, "Let me explain how the human body works."
That's right.
I say that all the time. I've said it to my doctor. Just we're in the talking, and she's like, "Well, what about this?" I was like, "Well, let me explain how the human body works," and then I kind of get that pause, and then I have to explain it, and then it's really awkward. But yeah, it's just it makes me laugh.
So what's funny about his character is I wonder like we know outside of Friends when they just did Joey. I don't know if it was just the setting or what it was, but it didn't work nearly as well as with them all together. And them all together just makes him
like 50% of my list. That character is not a lead.
right.
You can't have a whole show where he's a lead.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's why Joey didn't work. I only watched like 2 episodes of that.
Yeah.
I watch very little live TV. So.
Right.
But his new show was successful, which I don't know. Can't remember what it's called.
I don't know if I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, he's put
the
on
game when he's doing the game show. Bamboozled.
Things that are white. A ghost. Yeah.
Oh,
my wife
on Pyramid. Yeah. When he's on Pyramid. Yeah, that's hilarious. That is funny. So many moments with him.
Oh, he is brilliant. I think about the smell the fart acting all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or when he's he reads all the lines that he has to read. And Ross is like, "That's amazing. Do you know anything you just said?" Joey's like, "Not a word of it."
You've been bamboozled.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes from the show.
Oh yeah, it is. That's a great. That sounds like a fun game too.
Yeah, you got to hold your breath. How do you pronounce this? You know. Anyway.
So that takes us up to our number 1 choices.
All right, and my number 1 character, drum roll please. My number 1 character is Creed Bratton from The Office.
He's good.
I don't think there's ever been a character on TV that has made me laugh as hard as him.
Oh, he's hilarious.
His I made love to a lot of women in the 1970s, a lot of them in the mud, in the rain. And then me slipped in. There'd be no way of telling. Just brilliant writing. They don't overuse him. He's just so funny.
Did you listen to The Office Ladies this week?
Not this week's episode.
No, maybe last week's. I guess it would have been.
Right. No, not that.
They were talking about one of the scenes he had in the background during Annie's play. They were just talking about when Michael finds out he doesn't get the part, and he wants to know who is responsible for him not getting the part. They said there's one of the writers or one of the fans wrote in and asked about because Creed in the background has this look on his face, almost like he was the one that was somehow responsible for Michael not getting the role in Andy's play. And they said, just the look on his, and I went back and watched it, and just the look on his face is just hilarious. He didn't even have to say anything, just sitting in the background, the way he looked up when Michael was talking about who was responsible for it.
So there's a deleted scene in I don't know what episode, but it's Creed. He sleeps at the office 4 days out of the week, and then on the 5th day he goes to Canada where he lives, or I don't know, somewhere. And it makes me laugh because I can just see the character doing that. He's just he's
really good.
He's the funniest character I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah.
And I watched Mork and Mindy live. So.
Yeah, Mork was funny. He didn't make my list, unfortunately.
I was thinking about Jonathan Winters because him and Robin Williams together were.
Yes.
I mean, it was off the rails every episode, but.
Oh yeah.
Funny. So.
Yeah. I saw one show. It wasn't Mork and Mindy, but they did a stand-up together, I think, or it was at a show, or they just showed up or were somewhere and they just went into what they do. Oh man, so funny.
I don't even know when he passed away, Jonathan Winters. It had to be a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah, I know.
To all you out there who have no idea who he is, look him up, because most of the people watching the show probably don't.
So,
maybe DC Patrol knows. Other than that, I don't think anybody knows.
Okay, you're number 1.
My number 1, we kind of talked about it last week or the week before, whatever it was, Sam Malone from Cheers. My number 1 character of all time. God, he's just so funny. He's so unaware of the things he does. Like, he's not stupid. I mean, he doesn't play a smart guy, but he's street smart, but I don't know. He's just that guy.
Yeah. He's somebody that I think we would all like to be friends with.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was a baseball player, a pitcher, owns a bar.
Yeah. I mean, that's enough reason for me to be friends with him. Right? Yeah, his character grew a lot in that show too.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did. One of my favorite scenes with him is when, I mean, I can name 1,000 scenes from Cheers with Norm and stuff that cracked me up too, but Sam is sitting there and he's facing probably towards the back pool room or whatever, away from the front door, and a woman walks through the door, and I think Woody says something to get his attention. He's not even looking. He's like, I see her. Like, he got his back to her, and oh man, just hilarious. Such a womanizer.
Yeah, probably my favorite line from him is he's at the bar and he's talking to a woman, and he asks her out. She says, "No, I just want to go home and jump into bed." Well, you need someone to break your fall. Just brilliant,
Yeah.
The writing on that show is fantastic.
Oh,
I mean, every time Norm comes in, he's got something great to say.
Right.
Yeah, and Norm almost made my list.
Yeah, he almost made mine too.
Yeah.
Just for his one-liners.
Yeah.
And of course the hungry heifer and all that kind of stuff. But
Cliff Clavinel could have made my list. He's fantastic too. So, I mean, the only character I don't like is Carla. I'm not a big fan of Carla, or I'm not a big fan of Diane either. But
right.
But I really liked Rebecca. Kelly was great.
Yeah, the dumber characters are always funny for some reason.
Oh, they just make me smile.
Yeah.
They just make me smile.
Yeah. It's because they're trying so hard. They're so innocent and pure. Like,
yes.
They may not be perfect, but everything's from a good place. So that is my number one, Sam Malone.
You got any bonus?
I have some honorable mentions.
That's what I was trying to say. Bonus characters?
I got 3, and now that you mentioned Norm, I have 4. Norm would definitely be one. My first honorable mention is Uncle Phil. From Fresh Prince. Yeah, absolutely. Most sitcoms with dads have the dad being the bumbling idiot who's always getting the wool pulled over his eyes. And that didn't happen with Dr. Phil, Uncle Phil. I knew I was going to do that. That didn't happen. I mean, he was always on top of what was going on. He didn't take their BS.
I think I would have went with Carlson over Phil.
Carlton, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
My second honorable mention is Penny.
Who?
Penny.
Okay.
Big Bang Theory.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah,
for several reasons. Lost?
No, from Big Bang. Penny from Lost is okay too, but
she's no Desmond. I really like Desmond in Lost.
Desmond was good. Yeah, Desmond's great. Yeah, he's kind of first couple episodes is like, I don't know about this guy, but he turns out to be pretty good. And then my third honorable mention is Radar from MASH.
Radar, that's a good one. So, I don't know if you consider like SNL or the Carol Burnett show those characters, because like Tim Conway, I thought was absolutely. I don't know if you've seen his dentist skit.
Oh yeah. We actually throw it on. That's on Peacock, and we'll throw that show on once in a while and watch it.
Okay,
Tim Conway,
Tim Conway
together
is probably the funniest human being I've ever seen. I like him a bit more than I like Robin Williams as far as his improv.
Yeah,
his Siamese elephants at the zoo. Sorry, it just cracks me up.
So good at the physical comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another honorable. Oh, I just had another one. Les Nesman, WKRP.
Yeah. Les. Yeah. Again,
I can't wait till Thanksgiving. I got the turkey drop T-shirt from WKRP.
That's a good show. That's a good.
I have not wore it yet.
Oh, I just thought of another one. Alex P. Keaton.
Yes.
Definitely an honorable mention. So, like I said, I couldn't narrow. I had a hard time getting down to 10 characters.
Yes.
But I'm surprised. So the only person we matched on was Joey.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty certain, unless you had Phoebe too, that Joey would be the only one that we would even cross over on.
Right.
Because, like I said, most of my characters are minor and not really popular. But
right.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of mine. I've only got 1, 2. Buffy was the lead. Mando's the lead. Swanson is a part of the team. Hurley's not a leader. Amy was just a companion. Saul's the lead. And Sam was the lead. So about half, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, because I had mine at 5 leads. Tim Taylor.
Right.
I had Phoebe, Joey, and Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So. Yeah, all good characters. And honestly, if you asked me to make a list without looking at this one again, it might be a little bit different.
I'm certain mine would be.
Yeah.
It all depends on what I'm in the mood for. Yeah, I mean, I put on 2 of them today, probably 20 minutes before we started.
Right.
You know, I had a hard time. And this list was my idea.
So, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
It kind of threw me for a loop when I sat down to do it, and I was like, well, crap. But yeah, no, great characters. I really like your list. A little more serious than my list. But
a few of them, yeah, for sure. Yeah, which surprised me, too, because I love sitcoms a lot.
Yeah. I love that half hour, that 22 minutes. You know, I can really hold my attention.
Right. Nice. So, all right. Well, you got anything else to say this week?
I've got nothing.
All righty. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week. For both of you out there who are watching, thanks for watching.
Appreciate it.
Again, we're looking forward to next week where we'll have another list for you. We're not quite sure what that is yet, but we're going to figure it out here shortly so that we have more than one day to get our list together. And,
okay. Sounds good to me.
Thanks for watching. Check out the other shows we always talk about: Lost in Comics, Gathering of the Geeks. Lost in Comics. He just put up some more. Did you see some of his posts today about some comics he got?
I did. I just saw it just about an hour ago, right? 2 hours now. Yeah. I don't know how I miss everyone's tweets all the time, but I do. I did see that, and I didn't comment. I liked it. Congratulations, Chris.
Yeah, pretty awesome. That was pretty cool. And then I think Adam Janis also has a new one up for Tricks for Truth.
The Suicide Dog Bridge.
The Suicide Dogs. Check it out. And then, of course, I'm betting this week or next Sunday for Gathering of the Geeks, they're going to have some Emmy reviews. Just a guess. I don't know for sure, but I bet they'll have a couple. So check those shows out.
Yeah, good guys.
Other than that, we will see you next time on Midlife Vices. Have a good one, Jim.
See ya.